Evening, dudes. It looks like we're live. I got a crazy looking light behind me. Let me see about sitting about like this here. What's that do? Oh boy. So, all right, welcome. Fifth installment of Tuesday Night Live, Dude Reset, guys. We're doing it. And tonight, what we're going to talk about is some things that I've learned in my certified personal training course. I'm done with the coursework and now I'm kind of studying to take the final exam. And boy, a lot of information. I do really, really good in it, but retaining stuff for me is sometimes difficult for like those people, but me especially. Today was one of them. So anyway, and then we'll touch on some supplement stuff. But we just want to kind of talk about the importance of all of this gym stuff. You know, we don't want to be gym bros unless you want to be a gym bro. And if you don't want to be a gym bro, we still need to convey the importance of what doing the work in the gym or at home, or if you go out in your backyard and you just have a tire and a log, or you know, whatever. So we're going to touch on some of that. I'm going to bring Jared online, and he's got some stuff he's going to add into and with this. So give me just 1 second here. So as we're bringing Jared on, there's Jared right there. How are you, sir? Good evening.
Morning. Oh, evening. Good evening.
It is, yeah, nighttime. Uh, so I was just gonna kind of talk a little bit about the importance of this gym thing, or moving weight, or moving our body. And so without getting crazy into it, and the reason I can't get crazy into it is I don't have the knowledge to just regurgitate on that crazy level. But what I have learned is all of this stuff that we're doing in the gym, around the gym, talking about the gym, it's not for nothing. Um, as people, men and women, but we're men, so we're going to talk about that. As we age, we notice a decline, and some of us have accepted that we just decline. We just lose muscle mass, we get gray hair. Um, Sometimes we get cancer and die, or sometimes we just kind of grow old and die. Uh, but I think that society as a whole has learned that we can, in fact, influence or affect our longevity, and what that really means as far as participation in life versus letting life happen to us. You can see it there again. I don't want to get political, but it's what's happening is making America healthy again, and we are very unhealthy people. As a nation, we should be extremely ashamed of ourselves at the level of obesity and alcoholism and addictions and uh, our food supply. So anyway, making America healthy again is a big deal. And if you look, or if you just want to break it down into the cliff notes, is we need protein. We need protein. We need to lift heavy weights. It doesn't make you bulky. Fat makes you bulky, makes you look weird in clothes. But it's proven, scientifically proven, if you have to move heavy weight. And what that does is just not muscle, guys, it's bone. And this is the biggest thing that I'm learning about in this course. And this course isn't really geared toward this. It's that important that they have to cover it because we're weak as a nation, and so, or a world in some aspects, but our bones continue to grow all the way till we die. Um, they deteriorate, but they still want to replenish. And so whenever you lift heavy weights, and we'll talk about the 5 or 6 most important lifts that we all need to be doing regardless, but that'll be its own video. But by lifting heavy weights, our bones go through a process of remodeling. Bless you, babe. Our bones go through a model of or a process called remodeling, and it's through different words. And there'll be some medical guy in here that'll watch this and be like, "You're a hillbilly redneck," and yeah, I sure am. But you know what? I'm learning how this stuff works. Um, so when you're straining and you're deadlifting or you're bench pressing or whatever, and you're really putting the grit to it, right? What's happening physiologically inside is hormones and chemicals, and then all of those things are dumping. And if we don't, we live a sedentary lifestyle, which means we go from our bed to our kitchen to our car to our work to our car to our kitchen to our couch to our bed, right? Like we don't move, we don't do anything in the day. Mute your stuff, Jared. Your keyboard's clacking. Um, but if you're not moving in a day and you're getting minimal steps, it's proven your life is going to be shorter. You're gonna develop cardiovascular disease, which is a short or complex way of saying like you're not doing enough for your own body to keep up with itself. And so the respiratory, cardiovascular system, our muscles and our bones, even our nervous system, the way that the nervous system balances and fluctuates. So going to the gym and lifting the weight is doing more than just lifting the weight. It's doing more than thinking, oh, I got six pack, or ooh, I want some biceps, or whatever the case is, right? So like, even if we're not going for mere aesthetics, as men, we need to be going to the gym 3 days a week for an hour at an absolute minimum. And that's 15-minute warm up, build you a little 20, 25-minute workout, taper it down. If you've only got 30 minutes, guess what? Do it twice a day. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a have-to situation, dudes. And so the remodeling process of the bones is what keeps our strength so we can hold ourselves up. And so it's a what's that word? Symbiotic relationship, right? Like the muscle to the bones to the muscles, and then the nervous and the mind and all that kind of just is the balancing effect to it all. And so what happens is people get old and they fall, and people say, oh, Aunt Phyllis fell and broke her hip. No, she didn't. You know what happened? She broke her hip and then she fell. She fell because her hip broke. Bones weak. Like people know what porous and non-porous material are, right? Ferrous and non-ferrous metals. Like, so what happens is you take that bone and it's super dense and super packed, right? We've all seen bones or skeleton, deer, whatever, right? And you can see like the little fibers, right? All that stuff's made up. And so when we're living and healthy, like it is jam-packed, tight, super crossed fibers of everything, all the materials, bones, fascia, and then all the things, right? And so what happens is we age and we don't properly fuel ourselves and we don't properly exercise, is that becomes a sponge. Those air gaps get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until one day you're standing with a funny force doing nothing, and it breaks. And so the importance now, so far beyond what I could have ever imagined, the importance of being physically fit is it's the little things. Like we do squats, like, or leg press or lunges or whatever, so we can stand up and get off the damn crapper, right? We do deadlifts so we can bend over and pick up our kids and our grandkids. There's reasons that we do these things so our body can function, and if we don't, we cave in on ourselves. So we're choosing to. We're all gonna die, and we get that. I've kind of beat that horse to death, so to speak. But like, what path to death do you want to take from this day forward? Like, do you want to make time for your wellness, or be forced to make time for your illness? Because there's like no other ground essentially at this age forward. And so the food supply, the things that I talk about with the water, like these things that we're doing, that is us, that is who we are. And so if we're like, oh, I don't want to go to the gym, well, cool. Like, all you're doing is a quicker walk to the grave. And that's fine if that's what you're into, but like, I think the people that accept that, A, haven't lived, or B, are scared to live. And so, because if you have lived, you're going to do it more. And if you haven't lived, you're scared to. So if you fit one of those categories, I made that up on the spot, but I like it. Because if you're not going to the gym, why? I'm busy this, I'm busy that. Well, that's going to catch up to you. That's what's going to kill you. That's what's going to make you depressed. That's what's going to make you anxious. That's going to make you not get a promotion. That's going to make you not be able to perform for your wife. Like, we don't need to go take a pill for everything. Hey, doc, my wiener don't work. Oh, cool, we got a blue one for that. Hey, doc, my blood pressure's real high because I eat like shit and I drink and I smoke cigarettes and cigars. Okay, cool, take one of these. Well, doc, well, now, it's like, no. All that stuff, you don't have to do any of that stuff, which is going to bring us to a segue to supplements, right? The medication, I call them drugs, they're all formulated off something found in nature. They synthesize nature, and then they make it in a lab, and they've used organic chemistry to figure out how to attach and create molecules. And that's where, when we talk about pharmaceutical drugs, come from petroleum-based, it's the structure, it's the molecular structure. So when you're consuming, and I'm doing it right now, I got to from my stupid gut, taking a freaking pill for the first time in 15 years, that or cancer. So I can talk about that. I'm clean and cool, but like, so these, and you look on the jar, and it's got the chemical structure like the periodic table, and they're just making this shit in the lab, and it comes from something in nature. And so when we're doing that now, we're just band-aiding a problem by repairing a symptom, but now we're ingesting something that our body's not intended to process. So, Make America Healthy Again, food pyramid, we turned it upside down, we're eating proteins. And so some of these guys, as we're getting off the couch and we're trying to move again, we don't have the oomph or the gusto that we think we do. And so we that's when we go to like pre-workouts or something, and that's just caffeine and a bunch of nonsense, right? We can do this stuff with food and supplements. And like Travis posted today about the beef liver stuff, I've been researching, if you want to call it research, looking into this stuff for a while, and I'm kind of leaning toward this reindeer organ stuff just because I like the idea behind it. But the reality is, whether it's plant-based or animal-based, if it's a natural whole ingredient and it's been third-party tested, some of this stuff does elevate levels where it brings us up out of a thing, or brings numbers up. And if you look back on some of this stuff I've done, I did a first form pack or stack for a while. I've really brought my numbers up. I haven't shot anything in me. I'm not taking anything illegal, nothing you really can't buy at Walmart. And so some of this stuff is really good to get you going, but it's not even designed for sustainment, right? And so that's the problem when you talk about pills, is they want to put you on a pill forever. Don't do that, right? You can do a food or a supplement for a little while, whether that's a year or 2, 6 months, whatever it is, but you're not doing it forever, right? And so then as your body starts to adjust and find a natural homeostasis, it's not influenced by drugs or alcohol or nicotine or pharmaceutical drugs, like the gap gets wide quick, right? So it's going to take a long time to unscrew the system that we built and bring it back into a balance. And then we got to shift it into the positive, right? So none of this shit we're going to do is going to happen in 2 or 4 or 6 weeks. You're going to see some notice. Shirts are going to fit different, but we're talking about real health, real physiological change, and that's what we're doing. I set off on a bodybuilder thing because I needed a freaking goal. I needed something to not quit at, right? So that's where I went ham on it. But the reality is, I was bettering myself long term without even knowing it. And so that's where I'm now going to bring Jared on and say, Jared, I missed the workout today. I apologize, but if you guys knew my Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday workout split, you'd be like, dude, this boy needs to take a load off. And so apologize, time got away from me, but also I was gassed. But tell me what you guys did today, what you learned. You worked out with a couple other guys in the group and Dude Reset here, so that's awesome. But tell us kind of what you did, what you learned, what your mind's processing, and then we can maybe hammer back a little bit.
Sure, appreciate it, man. I knew you were busy, knew you were studying, getting ready for your test. I saw so many things at the gym today that reminded me what we talk about in this group, and I thought it was hilarious. Met last night with Tyler Phillips over at his house. Talked first, honestly, about diet, hanging out in the garage. What he's doing in the garage today is different than what he was doing a year ago. And we're talking about alcohol consumption, and we're talking about eating. And he happened to have a nice little weight set over there. And so I just went and threw some plates on and racked some out. And I said, man, I never max on bench. I did it honestly at my last business, just spouting off one day. Like, I know I'm stronger than I think, but I used to just bench 185 in high school, never did more. Well, that day they made me throw on 205 and I pumped it up there 3 times. It's like, okay, well, I haven't tried this for a long time. So that got me thinking about the accountability. We talk about the group is good for accountability. Meeting guys at the gym are great, but I haven't asked for, nor have I needed a spotter in the 2 to 3 years that I've been going to the gym. So am I really pushing it? And then we talk about max weight, embarrassing low weight, and I'll get to that in a minute. So then Tyler was making some food, and I said, what are you making tonight? And he's like, oh, we're gonna eat beef tonight, gonna eat burgers. And I was like, oh, that's good. What have you been doing? And then he goes down this whole rabbit hole that I don't think about, turkey versus chicken versus beef versus pork. And you've talked about it before, Sam. I mean, choose your meat and then base your diet around that. And so beef was very much a rarity for them. My family gets a beef for Christmas. So that's like every time I go back home, I go grab free beef. And, ground beef is our number one thing that we eat. And we know where it came from. And we do a whole lot of turkey. We do a whole lot of chicken as well. I don't know. Maybe we do. I don't think we do too much protein, but I'm really trying to get these kids pumped up with some protein. Remembering that protein's what I pay for, so quit eating your French fries first. Let's eat this protein. We went out and saw his new house, just a beautiful place. We talked all about that. And then we were in the garage. And, I asked Shouse the other day, what's your garage routine look like when we're talking on the phone at night? What are you doing? And he had those 10-pound weights and he's going right and left and pick them up and drop them down. And so I'm telling Tyler about this. And so now we're sharing the other things that we're learning from the other guys, not just about working out, but about flexibility and about diet and what his kids are doing, what my kids are doing. And so it's a whole different mindset than getting together and talking about football. I mean, I guess that's over, right? There was a game on Sunday while I was not doing anything, wasn't watching it. Anyway, I'm glad it's good. And if that's your thing, then that's great. I guess don't get addicted to sports betting. If there's a real problem there, is what everybody tells me. I don't care, but I had a great time with them. And then while we were hanging out last night, we said, hey, who's working out tomorrow? Because I don't go to the gym in Parsons. It's a great little place. We talked about it. And so went in today at 4 o'clock, and that's what I was inviting you to. Totally understand that you were busy. But I work out of the YMCA here in Wichita. And I've told you, like, January 1st through January 25th, when I go in there and I get up at 5:15, I go at about 5:45. Normally, there's probably about 100 people there. And for my anxiety, I don't do well with it. So we talked about that last night. We went in today, and I mean, there's 12 people there, maybe 16 total, counting us. And it was all dudes. And they were all, honestly, 22 plus, all the way up to probably 70. And I was like, guys, this is so much better for me mentally. And they're like, what do you mean? I was like, just for it to be dudes is one thing, and so I got to see their favorite maneuvers. We talk about the 5 questions as a dude, why you need resets at these things. And we talk about your favorite things that you do every single day. And what Tyler did was totally different than what Shouse did. And all of it was totally different than what I did. I know that both these guys are physically stronger than me, and they always have been. And it's not my goal to be stronger than them. But the amount of weight that they could put on to start, I was like, oh, gosh, you guys are moving some weight here. So it was good to see that. One of the biggest jack dudes in there, I mean, dude, he had that upper body going on. Sam, you keep saying, embarrassingly low weight. I looked over and that guy's just swinging these 15-pound dumbbells, and that's exactly what I like. I mean, that's honestly probably where I'm at right now, is less weight, more reps. And that's not what these guys were doing today. But to see him doing it was great. And again, how did he get to that size or mass? And I mean, size and mass is kind of one of the things I'm chasing today. He probably did heavy and does light. So, there's a combination of both. So I really enjoyed it today doing this workout. And I worked out about 45, 50 minutes, nothing crazy, nothing heavy. But the things that Tyler finds important, and he says, I won't leave without doing these. And whether they're ab crunches or anything else, the things that Shao says, like, hey, this is my machine. Get over here and feel this burn. And I mean, it's literally his machine. He gave it to the gym. So it was cool just to see that and to experience it in their world. I know you went and worked out with Michael one time for like the first time a while back. You kind of shared that story, but going to somebody else's place and seeing what they do is good. It honestly made me change my routine here. You know, tomorrow morning I'll go hit that and I'm going to do it differently because they were machine to machine to machine to machine or free weights or whatever it was. I'm very much a sedentary person. I get in one little spot and I hide, face in the mirror, nobody else around me, headphones on, and try to just do my thing. But it's because there's 100 people passing you, and I know probably 15 of them or more, but I don't want to talk to them. I'm not there to talk to them. They're not there to talk to me. We all got our headphones in and we're good. I'll probably see them at a meeting later. So those were some of my quick takeaways. We looked at diet, we looked at the weight that you move, we looked at the goals. So it was all vastly different with three dudes that you think you know pretty well.
So I just want to say the biggest takeaway from all of that, and you just finished on, is that's why I try to bring people together in this stuff is in the real human connection. What happens when you work out together? I don't want to get all weird, but like that's an environment that you can't replicate unless you're working out. The blood flow, the endorphins, the energy, the connection, right? You've done something hard together. Like if you've never been on a sports team and you've never been in the military or a cop or first responder type person, like how do you even know what that feels like?
Mm-hmm.
How do you even know what it feels like to have 2 or 3 of your homeboys being like, get after it? And it don't matter if it's fives or 500s.
Sure.
The weight is irrelevant. The body doesn't care, right? That's what I'm trying to get people in this group to understand. It's like, it doesn't matter. Go do it. When you go do it, now you're better than the 95% of the people sitting on the couch going,
Yeah.
like just go do it, right?
Yeah.
And so that's the biggest thing. Keep doing that. And we need the community. We need to bounce ideas off of each other. And when you get a little group, whether it's sporadic or it's regular, right? And you have your earphones in, there might be times where it's like you get that rhythm and that flow, and it's like brainstorming, right? And sometimes that's the place that's happened. I know you've experienced that a little bit, right? So that's awesome and good to hear. And that's the main reason I wanted to go, was because I wanted to be a part of that. But I also didn't want my ego to get involved and try to work out when I didn't need to. So it didn't matter because YouTube was loading, so I didn't show up anyway. But the next thing I want to touch on, and this will be good for the video, be it now or later. You said that you're maybe adjusting some things and seeing some things different, and maybe you want to go after some size, a little bit of strength. The biggest thing for that, the biggest thing is consistency. You're never, ever, ever going to get results if you're riding a roller coaster of working out. I don't care if you're a man or woman. I don't care if you're 6 years old or 65 years old. If you give it fucking all you got for 3 to 4 weeks, and then you take 6 months off because of life, and you justify it and you make it okay, you're never, ever, ever going to see results. You're going to see that 6 week, woohoo, I look good. Oh, okay, I'm done. I'm learning this in real time as we speak. I'm on my 3rd year of maybe less than 5 workouts I've missed in probably 5 years. And so now I'm seeing the physical change and the muscles starting to grow. Things are starting to stack. And so for anybody out there that sees this or hears this, anybody that's been doing this a long time, they're going to tell you the same thing. You've got to stay with it. You've got to be consistent. If there's a video, I could tell anybody if they need a little motivation, Michael Phelps, the old swimmer guy, he said it best, and I'm going to have to paraphrase because I don't remember exactly what he said, but if you miss a day in the pool, it takes 2 days to recover. And so if you miss, then the guy that is you're trying to beat, he's going to beat you. And so he on his run to all that 1 year, he got all the medals. Or maybe it was multiple years, but he didn't miss a workout. He didn't miss a workout no matter what, no matter the flu, no matter anything. And then you have to apply that. Us dudes in this group, we have to apply that same mindset, because if not, we're never going to be successful in our own right. We don't have to be Michael Phelps or Michael Jordan or any of those guys, right? But if we don't wake up and perform with that mindset, if we're mowing grass, cutting hair, building pallets, digging ditches, selling cars, if you don't wake up and want to attack the day, what are you doing, right? And that's my big picture for this Dude Reset group is like, dudes, we need a reset. We got real complacent real fast. We got little keyboard warriors, we got pistols on our hips, but we don't do nothing about our own life. Right? And so that's my big thing. And the trick or the whatever, the secret is it ain't even for us. It's for our kids. It's to show our kids what this is about, what you can become. We know what regular does, guys. Every single one of us. We know what regular is, right? And it's fine to be regular. Most of us in here are what we consider regular. You know, there's a handful that do pretty exceptional things. The guy last week, he's a world-class shooter, right? We're not all world-class anything. So you're not world-class, guess what? You're regular. So we know what regular is. And so that's our responsibility as parents or uncles or whatever, is to show that next generation what we didn't get shown. We teach them what we didn't get taught, right? And so you were talking about your boys, you know, like trying to get protein heavy. You're not going to get protein heavy on kids. They're not going to eat enough chicken or beef. They're going to have to eat so much that the cycle wouldn't stop from mouth to ass. So don't worry about it. You're on the right track. And I'll say the same thing in my household. We got my wife, she stays fit and does yoga and all the things. And her daughter's an absolute track stud, but she's still just a teenage girl that still clueless about life. But guess what? They're taking creatine. They're taking amino acids. We're making sure we got protein at every single meal. Why? Because that's where the basis of a lean, healthy body comes from. It comes from a good amount. I don't want to be a nutritionist, but we've got to eat a better, balanced, healthier diet, which means we've got to eat good, lean protein, good fats, and healthy carbs. That's it. That's all that means, right? And so once we start doing that, that's when we see the body change, right? The physical, the body changes in the kitchen. The gym stresses the body. And then what's in the food is where the recovery comes from. That's why sleep is so important. So the stuff that we're doing, the stuff that we're talking about, some of it's very elementary because we're just learning. Some people watch this, some people don't, right? The ones that watch it, we need to learn this stuff. The ones that aren't watching it, they either know it or don't care, or they're going to have a heart attack, right? No big deal. Do your thing. And if they're holding out and they've got more knowledge, then that's on them, right? This is a place that people, the dudes, are going to understand is priceless. And until you have a health scare, or until you don't have an answer for a kid, or until you're standing on a rooftop and no way to get down, that's when we're going to understand what this stuff is for. So the gym stuff, the supplement stuff, guys, it's time to start. It's time to start asking questions. And you can listen to Michael, and I love that dude's his wealth of knowledge, and he brings receipts for everything he talks about. And he told me, he's like, you don't need to take any supplements. And so that's when I started eating more, which it did work, but it also messed me up because I got an esophagus issue is what I got going on. And so now I'm learning I can't eat as much. So guess what? I'm drinking a few more protein shakes in a day than I was before, because it's liquid, you know, and the processing, my body can consume it and utilize it significantly easier. And so that's how I'm adjusting. And so anyway, we have to learn our bodies. We have to find a homeostasis, a balance in our physiology, and then we can build from that. If you're fat and you're trying to lose fat, you're never going to lose fat if you drink. So if you're a drinker and you're trying to lose fat, it won't happen. Don't blame me. I'm just the messenger. So if you want to lose fat and you're skinny fat or you're fucking big fat, quit drinking. If you drink, you can still build muscle, but you don't have the recovery. Sometimes you don't have the endurance, but there's some physiology in there because alcohol is 7. Do they rate it 7 calories a gram? Fat's 9, protein, and however those macros work out. Alcohol's in it because we're a drinking society. And so if you put it in the macros, you put it in the system, you manage it, totally manageable. But if it's not, you go out, you don't keep track of your bar tab and that kind of thing. Like, it doesn't matter what you do in the gym, you're only going to get so good. On the other side of the coin, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do none of that old fun stuff anymore because it's not fun because it wrecks your body. But the same thing, I'm skinny fat. Don't quite have protruding love handles, but they're so close, I'm mad, right? But I got a little gut hanging out in front. Why? I eat carbs like a freak. I don't drink beer anymore. Now I just eat. And so in the system, when you count your macros, that's okay. When you go over the top, that's when things happen and things start stacking. So I'm a real life example, and I'm no better than anybody. But what I am is consistent. And so that, going back to now your other consistency question, bring it on.
I'm gonna ask about food. We got T-Pain and Kendall joined us. They missed that we were working out with Shouse and Tyler. But tell me about diet. What meat are you eating mainly, Sam? Are you all over the place? Are you chicken, turkey, beef?
So I was before my stomach stuff, I was basically all beef, cow products, milk, yogurts, cheeses, the whole bit, and that messed me up. And so whenever I got the first diet or first whatever camera check, I went to fish and chicken only.
Okay.
So now I've got this understanding of what's happening, and so I'll have beef, but I won't have it. I try not to have it more than just, a day or two a week.
Sure.
Only because it just takes a little more to process. And their ground beef is different than steak, but steak, your nutrient content's higher than ground beef, all the things, right? But I've noticed I do have a good thing with tuna and with chicken. I never liked chicken, but I'll eat it, right? And so chicken has insane amount of protein per gram. And so it's a really good thing, and it's cheap enough to consume. So I would say on a day I'll have a can of tuna and 1 or 2 servings. No, I'd say I'd have a can of tuna, and then I'll have a serving of chicken or beef in a day.
Yeah.
Or fish, because we'll have like a fish fillet, for dinner, like a fancy home dinner kind of thing.
Sure.
So all over the place, yes, but also very, 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 very mindful.
As soon as I'm away from the house, my diet's killed. And it's like, I guess my best bet is to go to Ballers or Brahms and try to get the biggest meat patty I can. And that's about it. Leave it at that. I've been looking at a lot of rewards, and I was following a person, Laws, I can't think of her last name, but anyway, she was talking about Diet Coke as her reward, and that's very much my wife's reward for something good. And I'm not saying Diet Coke is good or bad or whatever, but what is my reward? My reward's probably a glass of whiskey at the end of the day, whiskey and water, of course. But Sam, you got any rewards that you treat yourself to after, as long as you check the boxes, things like that, or anybody else watching? What's your reward?
Mine's like a whole thing of cookies, like a whole package.
Chips Ahoy?
It's completely unhealthy. But it's borderline. Can't control it because I can't. But it's also like, if I know that I go get after it, I can make it work. So it's justifiable, but it's still not good.
Yeah.
But that is my sweet treats are mine, 100%. We got a guy, he comments a lot. I don't know if he watches on the videos, but he goes by Justin Consciousness. Black dude, got long dreads, Super cool cat. Skydiver, he's got that cool skydiving video. And that's what he was just commenting on something the other day. And he says he's getting his sweets under control and he's starting to feel the benefits. And I'm like, I wish I could feel the benefit because I wouldn't go back. But
Yeah.
I have not ever been able to not have sweets ever.
Yeah. I think the carbs and the inflammation, I've definitely noticed that in the past, but it's only when I'm doing like a Whole30 diet. And I fail miserably, like when I say 75 hard or 75 soft. But if I do Whole30 where I'm just thinking about what I'm actually cooking and eating, it's fine. And I still don't, I mean, I can eliminate beer, but I'm still going to have a glass of whiskey instead. And that's probably my guilty pleasure, but it's a lot different now. You already know that there was a nationwide ban on me having that previously. That I wrote down the rewards, I wrote down the habits, alcohol versus beer versus self, and making sure that you take time for yourself and get those things done. T-Pain says tortillas are his reward. That's
I
good.
love some tortillas too, man.
I don't know. I don't know if they're bad.
They are fat.
I think it's about the enriched flour. I think that's what we have to look at next, but we're not doing that yet.
So,
So go ahead.
no, go ahead.
Talking about a spotter earlier, I haven't needed one. This guy's working out today, and he is putting way too much weight on this bench. He turns and looks at all three of us and nods at me, and he goes, "Hey, do you mind spotting me?" I go, "There's no possible way I could save your life, man." I said, "I'll get one in." So Tyler came over and grabbed him. He goes, "You want help off?" He goes, "Yeah." I wasn't going to be able to help him off. And I mean, I think the dude had 4 plates on both sides, so it ain't going to be up to me to save his life. But I thought it was good. That guy's pushed himself. He knows what's going on. He's asking for a spotter. I got to get more comfortable with that.
I want to say something right there. So don't rely on other people at the gym to be your spotter. You don't know these people. You don't know nothing about them. You don't. No, seriously. Like,
Yeah.
so I'm going to say the reason you want to lift heavy and you want to do heavy things, but if you can't set up the safety features and the safety devices on that piece of equipment, don't use it. If
Yeah.
you're open squatting or open benching, like you're only asking to get hurt. If you're locking out on leg press and shit, like guys, if you're starting to do this stuff, call me. If you don't know what you're doing, call me. Literally, I'm doing this for you guys and me and some other reasons. But like,
Sure.
I'm a free resource. If you don't know how to do something, call me. I'm being serious. I don't spend all my time putting videos on here for 2 views. It takes time. It's my time. It's my knowledge, right? So like, the amount of knowledge that I have to what is shown is about 10%, right? You want to call me and change your freaking life? Call me and I'll spend my whole entire existence for you. It's up to you from that point. But back to what we're talking about before I go on a tangent. But like, if you don't know what you're doing, call me. If you don't know how to do something, like I say, I'll make a video. I don't ever hear anything from a person ever again. Nobody has come out to run hill sprints with me at the lake on a Sunday. Everybody talks about it, but they're not going to do it. That's fine. But don't expect to change if you're not doing anything about it. And if you want to change, but you don't know how to do it, call me. I literally have put myself out here for the betterment of the dudes that I know and the dudes that I know that they know, right? And so it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to ask questions, and it's okay to not know something. Us dudes get so egotistical thinking we freaking know everything, from paving a driveway to roofing a house to throwing a hot water heater in to swapping a motor. Like cool. You don't have to know everything. You need to know what you need to do in your life to support you and your family and in any dreams that you may have. Anything that falls outside of that's not your responsibility, but that also doesn't mean you can't go attain that knowledge, right? And you and I, Jared, have talked about this extensively. I will give somebody $500 if they can save me 1 year of time on reading and watching videos. $5,000. Like, people do this. People spend $100,000 to go have a 4-day weekend with somebody because of what they know and what they've done.
Yeah, training.
We're not there, right? Can we exchange information for free? Absolutely. Can we make each other better? Yeah. Do we have people in this group that know that are true professionals and true masters at various things? Yes. Are they offering their services for free? No. Am I? Yeah. Right? So like, let's use this stuff. Let's get better. Let's understand why Sam's going to the gym and posting videos and trying to be pumped and jacked, right? Like, let's have some fun with our own life. First of all, let's quit being scared. If we're intimidated, let's go conquer that, right? Jared talks about being intimidated about Big Hill. I was 44 years old. I was paranoid of that hill for 44 years. I wanted to run that hill and train and be a badass like the dudes that went out there and did that on that hill my whole life. I never would. Never did. I always had a reason. I always had an excuse. You know what I do now? I go out there and I just crush it. Cool. I'm gonna go do something else now. Like it doesn't even register. Like Sundays, I'm kind of excited. Why? Because you get to put everything into something for an hour. Every bit of your existence into something. A lot of us don't even know what that feels like. Somebody's 100%, somebody else is 100%. They're probably not in line. So I don't know. It's just you and a hill, or you and a bench, or you and a whatever, right? Like, this is only for us to get better. It's not comparing against other dudes in the group or other dudes in real life or whatever the case is, right? You go to the gym and you're pumping fives and somebody's pumping 25s. Cool, you'll get there. And if you don't, it's because you weren't consistent with it. So I love this. It's almost, I don't want to steal it, Worthy, but like, it's simple. It ain't easy.
Yeah.
Like, just because it's simple don't mean it's easy. And a lot of us want to complicate things so we can feel like we accomplished something versus just doing the easy fundamentals and progressing.
How about this weather we've had?
I got a sunburn and my nipples are irritated and my tattoos on my chest are puffed out today.
Oh.
True story from yesterday.
We were sitting in the garage last night swatting mosquitoes. And we said, how does this happen February 9th? Like, it probably needs to happen. They need to come out, and then it freezes again to go back. Tomorrow morning, I'm going to have 31 degrees. Like, I still haven't gotten that good morning run in. I wanted to ask you about the hills. You already mentioned that nobody showed up, and that's fine. I mean, we're knowing it more and more regularly. Sunday at 1 p.m. Of course, I wasn't there in town Sunday, but I want to do that to see how it goes. I honestly wonder more what hurts the most, uphill or downhill on my knees. How do you feel?
I go backwards downhill.
Okay.
I do that for the backwards benefits, but the main reason is you can't walk down that normal after running up it. You can't. Like, it ain't easy, Jack. It's a burner out there.
So do you bear crawl down backwards, or what do you do?
No, you just same way you went up, same motion.
Yeah.
And if I'm dependent on because sometimes when I get to the top, I'm like borderline gonna have a heart attack. Like, I gotta really like check my shit, make sure like, okay, I'm cool. Cause like sometimes it's like, what? But anyway, and then I'll go down real mindful. I'll take big, long steps and really open my hips up. But like yesterday and today, like, it's like I don't have a calf muscle. It's like my ankle's fixed. Like, it's like it,
a little tight.
It gets you. But you can go out there literally anytime. The hill doesn't move. I don't need to be there. You could have went today. It's beautiful. You could have went today. You know what I mean? Like, that's the thing is everybody's got to have well, it's a hill. It's dirt. You park there 24 hours a day. If you need me to go do something so you can do it, like, let's evaluate the psychology. You know, we got people for that. At the end of the day, right? Because, you know?
Yeah, I know. Hey, T-Pain,
got lights out there.
T-Pain, you've been talking about liver stuff. Hit that plus sign down below and come in and tell us what got you on liver. Tell us how you're feeling if you want. I saw Kendall's in here. I don't know if Kendall's still there or not. He hasn't ever talked in this group, but we got
Kendall's the one that spawned this wanted to pop this hill thing off again, which I was going to do it regardless. But he gets to go and run the stairs at the Parsons football stadium, and he does it to train to go out to Colorado and hunt. And I'm like, dudes, you guys want to go hunt? I'll get you in shape, the right kind of shape. But hunters know what to do, and they go do it, you know, if they want to.
Oh, Travis, hit that plus sign and jump in here. I don't know if Kendall's still watching or not, but I'm interested in the liver stuff. I haven't tried it, and I mean, Sam, good, bad, or ugly, you know, the pre-workout. I love pre-workout, but I also don't drink coffee. I do the pump, you know, it gives me the tingle, whether it's good, bad, or not. Stairs tomorrow at 3:30, he says. Jump in here. Hit that plus sign down the bottom if you're on your phone. Request to jump in. We want to have some people talk.
I will say, once you get your diet balance and your homeostasis right, and your food right, and your hydration right, and your rest right, and your sex life right, you don't need pre-workout.
I mean, I
I can
believe it.
walk into the gym yawning, mad at the world, cold, frigid outside. Give me 30 seconds, and I'll kick your ass, like with intensity. Like it's like, and it is. But in the beginning, you're trying to pull yourself up. It's like you're clawing because you don't want to go do it. Your body's like, oh man, I feel like this, or I did this last night, or I ate this, or I drank that. And it's like you give yourself 7 billion excuses, but you jack that thing full of freaking crystal meth pre-workout. It's legal drugs. About 9 out of 10 of those get banned about every 6 months. It's an absolute fact. And they have to change formulation, right? So all you're doing is taking an absolute rail to the dome, and you go, woo, and now you're pumped to go work out. Imagine having that without having to take something to do that. That's consistency. That's the next level past about 3-4 weeks, man. About all I can muster up, and then I'm successful. Well, you need to redefine success, I think, some days. But yeah, you don't need that stuff.
I'm not quitting it.
You will if you stay consistent, because you won't need it.
Oh, I know what you mean. And I mean, yes, you're right. It's cheating. How about that? Is it
No,
cheating?
no.
All right. Well,
Testosterone's not cheating. Steroids aren't cheating. What's your goal? Like, you know what I mean? There's absolutely no, it's not cheating. I'm just saying that once you get all your stuff right, you don't need it. You don't want it.
sure.
I don't drink coffee either. You know what I mean? So
Here we got T-Pain's joining us.
Yo, what up? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Mic check,
All
mic
right.
check. Good to see you, buddy.
What's up? Now I got to make it quick because I got to get ready to put these kids to bed. But you talked about the beef liver stuff. That was something I've been hearing about, and I just kind of was like, oh, I'll check it out. You have to really watch what you buy, but I didn't want to jump on the Liver King train and make him any richer than he already is. But it's similar to what it is, the product that he has or whatever. And I got it through Amazon, but I had a buddy that was taking it, and he's like, man, I'm just super energetic. My shit's better when I'm going to the bathroom. Like, I feel better. My skin's better. I don't have a hard time sleeping anymore. So I've only been on it for 5 days, and I can already tell a difference. When I first took it, I'm taking half the dose. It's like 6 pills. 180 pills was $35 or something, which if you take 6 pills a day, that's only a 30-day supply. So I'm just doing the 3 right now, and I can already tell. And I'm making that one bottle last 2 months. But anyway, I'm going to see it out and let you guys know. I also take creatine too, and my diets consist mostly of eggs and beef and pork chops, and I'll eat low carb tortillas, but on the weekends I'll go eat Mexican and eat tortillas and just a little chips, but I eat a lot of jalapenos. But man, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm down like 60 pounds, so trying to get that action going on right there now.
heck yeah.
Trying to get back in my fighting shape.
I've been doing some research on these liver supplements and the beef organs and stuff and the reindeer organs and stuff. And I'm about to finish up a 3-month supply of minerals. Like you probably see it on Facebook, and it's a mineral compound that they spell it NEN minerals. But
Right.
I feel like that gave me a nice little boost in life. I did something before that. I don't remember what that was, but I've done Shilajit. I've done all the little trends. Some of them I really like. Some of them I don't feel anything. Some of them don't. They make me angry, straight up. I think Shilajit made me angry. But I did a testosterone stack from First Form in the very beginning of this stuff and brought my numbers actually came up. But it was also super intense lifting. But I'm gonna get the Primal Viking reindeer organ supplement, and you stay on that one you're on, and I want to do the one, that reindeer one, and I know we're totally different in all the things, but we can have at least, we know enough to know our bodies well enough to know before, during, and after kind of thing. So I probably won't buy
Right.
that till March, but either way, big on my radar, and I'm big on that stuff because we do lack that cellular level of nutrients that we need in our body. And I think like some of this stuff, we have to. It makes sense, you know. So
Right.
the one thing I
Well,
want
I
to,
will tell you, like through my weight loss journey and stuff, working out's great. And I'll end it here, but working out, you have to do that. You have to move your body, but that's not going to make you lose weight or get your gains. It's about everything you put in your mouth hole. And if it has a bunch of ingredients you can't pronounce, you probably shouldn't be eating it.
Uh-huh.
Stick with berries, protein, non-processed protein, deer, chicken, steak, burger. There's nothing wrong with beef. Don't believe all the stuff you've heard about cholesterol and all that shit. The shit that's killing us is processed stuff.
Yeah.
And you definitely will notice once you drop that. If you could just go 7 days without eating any sugar, and I mean eggs, like eat eggs for 7 days and tell me how you feel. You might be eating a dozen eggs a day, but I did it. I did carnivore for 67 days, hardcore, and I dropped 45 like in a month and a half or something. And I felt amazing. And I just kind of slowly incorporated everything else in. And I'd have a treat. Peanut butter is kind of the only really sweet thing I like. Reese's, but like just stay away from that stuff and you'll see results, man. Boom. Like that. And it takes discipline, not motivation. So, but I got to get off here, guys. I got to get these kids in bed. So,
See you,
later,
buddy.
dude.
Thanks for contributing. Have a good night.
Appreciate you.
yeah, man. Holler at your boy.
All right, see ya. So Sam, I pulled this stuff up, his beef liver that he's on, I got that pulled up, the MEM minerals, and that looks like it might be Ministry of Earth Minerals or Mother Earth Minerals. Do you know which one you were looking at?
I don't think that last one.
Okay. Anyway, yeah, MEM Minerals, Mine Environment Management. I don't know. There's a few of them out there. And then that Primal Reindeer Testosterone. We were talking about testosterone, and I don't know enough about it, but I took Testable is what I took and brought my numbers way up. And again, it's ginseng and some other shit. I want my body to be able to regulate it, without me having to take shots or anything else. But my numbers went from 219 and 27, or 2017, never tested them again, went to 720. And so I have to attribute that to a lot of different things, working out, diet, and things of that nature. So anyway.
Yeah, minerals is MENERALS.com.
Oh,
100
MEN.
American minerals for real men.
I'm with you. Minerals. Yeah, you did tell
Yeah,
us.
and I like the concept behind it, and my sleep's still not real super consistent. I wouldn't mind finding something to help me with my sleep a little better, but um, there again, I think if we cycle some of this stuff, we get our numbers up, we start getting our diet up. That's what I talked about one of the very first good videos we did is about finding your bodies, finding that homeostasis. And there again, if you're watching porn and you're late night drinking alone and these things that really have a vastly negative effect on us, you're going to have a hard time finding balance. And if you're not in balance, you're going to be kind of pulling and struggling for things in life. And I can attest to that my own self, and so it just, I think when we bring this thing, and I said this at the very beginning of Dude Reset about when we bring this back to ourselves and we become a little bit selfish in an appropriate manner, right? But we become a little bit selfish, all of a sudden now everything that comes out of us is good versus like trying to please everybody and be a good dad and be a good husband and, you know, be a good brother and a good friend. And oh shit, now I got to be like, you know, and it's like so many things. And oh, by the way, I hate my freaking job, you know, and it's like,
Sure.
whoa. So what do we have control of? What can we do as a man every single day for ourselves, right? And so that's just where it kind of comes back to the root of what this stuff is. So yeah, I'm gonna try this Primal Viking reindeer organ supplement because they talk about visceral fat because it increases your testosterone and it's supposed to bring your visceral fat down. And to me, like honestly, I've been, like I said, I'm on my third year not missing a workout, and I can't shake the gut, right? And so I could with a really, really strict diet. But the reality is anybody you see on the internet that's over 40 that's got that legit jacked, they're on testosterone. Totally fine. And like I said, I want to be, but it wouldn't be testosterone replacement. It would be testosterone enhancement. And that's not what I'm about. So I'm still trying to find some of these things that are just supposed to be natural. We don't have to shoot anything into ourselves. We don't have to do synthetic compounds. And I want to just see if, you know, if I can get this a little tighter. And I'm going to do a little better, and it's winter time and all the things. So I still would like to get the physique a little tighter. But I'm actually getting very satisfied with about, you know, nipple up, my shoulders, my traps, my pecs, my upper back, like all the work I've been doing, like it's definitely there, but I just look like a regular old Joe Schmo in a t-shirt. If I take it off, if I haven't been working out immediately, I look like I got a freaking front gut or whatever you call it, you know? So it's like,
Yeah.
if you gotta lay your goals out. You gotta set realistic goals. But the reality is if you're not doing anything, it's time to start doing something. If you've been doing something and you've plateaued, stalemate, or kind of drifting away, it's time to regroup. And if you've been doing something for a long time and you're not changing things up or you're not monitoring, you're not keeping track, you know, there's always levels. And so that's what we got to understand. It's day one or one day. And
Yeah.
some people, that's the biggest motivation they need to hear. And some people are like, cool, I'll do it one day. They just keep on about their life.
Yeah. You know, the consistency thing, I told you the other day, I was setting my alarm for whatever it was, Monday, Wednesday, Friday on these days. Like that went so badly, ruined my whole week because I need that alarm set for 5:15 every day. And I decide the night before whether I'm going or not going, you know, and that's part of what it is. But I mean, my second alarm is 6:30. So it's not like you missed a lot. It was just your personal time there and I can get it back. Tyler told us, you know, Shells and I have talked a lot about having a gut, and it's a gut when you're seated, but not a gut when you're standing, maybe. And then we're also a little bit bigger, barrel shaped. You know, I'm 17 pounds heavier than I always was, and that's where I'm staying. You know, right at 192, 195. While other guys have dropped 30 pounds and landed at that same weight. We're the same height, same build. But you know, Tyler said, "Well, I always do 100 crunches a day, 100 sit-ups a day, 100 push-ups a day. Are you guys doing that?" And Shells and I are like, "No." And he's like, "Oh, well, yeah. I mean, that tightens everything up." And he was suffering from a hernia before, and I've got a hernia, and it's like, I know that I need to do those, but I just don't stop and take the time. And he's like, "No, I do a set of 40, and then I do a set of 30, and I do a set of 30, and so that's my 100, and I'm done." But no matter what day it is, and Tyler had everything written out. On this day, I do this, this, and this, and on this day, I do this, this, and this. I said, "Man, I feel horrible because I said, I feel like every day when I get to the gym, I'm like, I'm just going to wake this old body up." And Shouts is like, "I've been trying to wake my body up for 3 years and I'm not doing the things that he's doing." So Tyler he started a year and a half, 2 years later than Shouts and he's ahead. And so for us to see that, and it's like, I got to get the discipline back. There's no reason I'm not doing the simple things. Shouts had his house going on. We had so many things going on. We always will and do, you know, but a lot of guys are really good about being consistent and planned, you know. intentional effort equals consistent routine. So that's what I need to get back to. That's what my takeaway was from the last 2 days. So I'm going to do that.
Yeah, I'm with Taylor. Tyler.
Tyler.
Tyler. I'm with Tyler. Like you look at these the origination of Dude Reset, and I was ripping 500 push-ups, 500 air squats, and 250 pull-ups, and walking 3 to 5 miles, and just kind of creating my own thing. And like I didn't know what to do, but I knew if a guy does 100 push-ups a day every single day, that's going to change things, right? And I did insane into the thousands calisthenics in a day. And I did that until I got serious about the gym, and then I couldn't get where I balanced that. And so the gym was more important. We're now coming out of this kind of bodybuilding mindset. Now full body strength and movement is more important. So now I'm starting the calisthenics again, because if you can't move your own body, you ain't moving nothing else, right? And
Yeah.
so at the end of the day, we always can work out because we weigh something, and so we can move our own body. So I like it. Tonight was kind of a shot up, and I think we nailed it. And I think we probably conveyed a message of it's not about showing off. It's not about the number of plates you put on, and it's not completely about the flexing in the mirror, right? But the importance of a man being able to work out and what it does to his body for the long term. Because gentlemen, I don't say gentlemen very often, but dudes, we are at a crossroads of understanding what it's going to take to live the life that we think that we want to live later, right? They sell us this idea that we retire at 65. Guys, the average lifespan for dudes is like 67 to 72, and women is like 74 to 8 or something. And so if you want to live and you want to live prosperous, you got to start moving now. And if you don't know how to do that, I'm telling you to get a hold of me. Pretty simple concept. I'm not the most knowledgeable, but I'm pretty freaking knowledgeable.
You're
So,
the most available, right?
and I'm absolutely more available than anybody else. So,
Yeah.
um,
You
I've learned a
mentioned it
lot, I've done a
earlier.
lot, and I've experienced a lot. And now this course, the certified personal trainer, and my yoga teaching, like I'm a whole body guy now. And so that's what I'm going to provide. And so that's where I'm going to head with this. And with that, Jared, you got anything in closing?
The only thing I want to say, you mentioned it earlier, people get hurt and then they seek recovery. And we talk about why a dude needed a reset. Don't wait for it. So here's your call to action is don't wait for it. Start tomorrow. If you're not started yet, start. If you are started, grab a friend and bring them along. Don't wait till we're hurt. Don't wait till we're divorced. Don't wait till we're fat. Don't wait till we're just down in the dumps. We've lost our job. We don't know what to do next. Start today. You say it all the time, not one day. It's day one. Let's do it and let's keep rolling.
Cool. Appreciate it. Good job, dudes. Show up for yourself, man. You'll appreciate it.
All right. See you, Samuel.
Later.
Bye.